Here we go again. So I never thought I would be a address the camera when things go wrong kind of YouTuber, but I've been doing that a lot lately. And I am sorry about that, but some things need to be addressed, and the more that my personal life becomes a part of my content, the more I kind of owe explanations to people. And today I owe an explanation to Laura B. I just read this comment on the recent video, The World's Worst Orphanage, The Outlast Trials Co-op. I was just at the gym probably 2 hours ago, got home about an hour ago, made some notes. I don't have a script or anything. It's just notes of things I want to make sure I point out and say. But I read this comment at the gym, and initially, I'll be honest, I was like, fuck you. Initially, I was angry, and then I read it a couple more times, and I went, she's right. She is right. What she's saying is not untrue. She's calling me out. Sure, I'm unhappy that I'm being called out because nobody likes being attacked. Not attacked. It's not really an attack. Nobody likes being called out. That was the perfect word. Word. Nobody likes being called out. And my initial response wasn't right. But I'm hoping that this response that I put out now will address some things. Because I think it's important to save this channel. Look, I don't think the channel's dead. I think it has changed. I think the mood has changed. I think the viewers have changed, and I think I have changed. But to address everything, we should just look at the comment. I'm sorry, but what are you doing? I love this stuff, but the shorts and nothing for weeks and what you're uploading, ? Sorry, but I'm starting to look elsewhere. I didn't want to, sad face, but my YouTube viewing is lacking. I don't want to have another app on my phone for Twitch if I can help it. All in all, she's not blasting me. She's just speaking her truth and talking about her problems with the content recently. I think the only thing I can disagree with and that I should point out isn't something that will change is what I'm uploading. Not the shorts. I'll talk about the shorts in a second, but the shorts, nothing for weeks, and what you're uploading. Apart from the Twitch trim ups, if I take a video of something that happened on Twitch and I trim it up and put it out, look, most of the time that's about just putting out extra content, having a consistent flow of content. And I'm not always proud of them. Sometimes, it's part of the game. Sometimes you just got to get stuff out because even though it's not my favorite type of video, there are people out there who just like when I play games and I talk. It's not the highest effort edit, obviously, because I'm just ripping stuff straight from Twitch. But it's content that some people get joy out of, and it keeps a consistent flow on my channel, which is important at the end of the day. And I don't have the time to make just regular GMat videos back to back to back to back. So sometimes I got to do that. And I'm sorry about that. The other thing is, though, when it comes to actual GMat videos, I'm talking let me take a look at the content, adult man with modophobia plays Moth House, Metal Gear Solid in VR is wild, we should ban mannequins worldwide, earning a one-way ticket to hell by laughing, VR police, if it's a GMat video, no face, just me playing a game, interlacing it with some memes. If I've put out any of that I've put out in the last 6 months, unfortunately, whether or not you like it, I'm proud of it and I'm putting in effort into those videos. The long form stuff, like the Silent Hill 2 thing where I just look at the game, and that's just fun for me to experiment and try some new stuff. And there will be more of that. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but they get views. I get more views than my regular stuff. And I sort of do that when I have a little extra time and I want to focus on a bigger project. I'll do something like that. Anyways, that's not the point. I just wanted to make it clear that in terms of properly edited GMat content, and that one bit that Laura said about and what you're uploading, I can't help it. That's just the content that I'm uploading. That's the content that I'm proud of. And I don't know if it's going to change too much from that. So if anybody has an actual problem, if they're just not liking the videos anymore, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry. It's just not, my style might have changed ever so slightly. I don't think it has that much, but yeah. The rest of what Laura said, I agree with. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, Laura, but thank you for starting with an apology. Like, you're like, I'm about to fucking blast you. I'm sorry. So, thank you. But what are you doing? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I have not had the easiest 12 months. I'm sort of just throwing that number out there. It's really difficult to measure time. That sounded way more profound than I wanted it to be. I literally mean that. Sometimes it's difficult to measure time, and I can't exactly put a pinpoint on how long it's been since I've felt good. But it's about a year, a year of like lots of punches in the guts, lots of setbacks, lots of personal, emotional revelations and problems, and just lots of stuff. I'll tell you everything in a minute. I'm trying my best to be as transparent as possible. I love this stuff. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. The World's Worst Orphanage, because it was a big edit. So I'm thanks for acknowledging that it was good. But the shorts are nothing for weeks. All right, let's talk about that. The shorts. I guess I do kind of owe you guys an explanation on the shorts, because I just sort of started uploading them. The thing is, I have a friend who's sort of a YouTube guru, manages a couple different pages, and he told me, dude, start uploading shorts because YouTube is pushing shorts. I never wanted to upload shorts because they clog I always felt like they clog the feed of it. When you go to someone's page and you click on videos, you have to scroll through a bunch of shorts to watch a real video, because that's what a lot of people go to YouTube for, is real videos. I'm not watching shorts on YouTube, and I know a lot of other people aren't either. So if I have someone I like and their whole page is clogged with the shorts, I'm like, fuck you. But at some point, YouTube switched it over, so there was a shorts tab. So you go to someone's page, you click on videos, all their videos are there. You click on shorts, all their shorts are there. So in my mind, I figured uploading shorts isn't going to harm the channel at all. It's not going to stop. It's not going to get in the way. It's just going to be extra stuff there that YouTube might push, which may benefit the channel. I guess I was wrong. I don't exactly know how the shorts get pushed out to you guys, or whether they come up as a notification, or whether they're driving you fucking crazy. But I was trying to upload a short every single day so that, so YouTube would promote my channel. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'm not that big a fan of shorts, or TikTok, or any like short form shit. I'll watch Reels on Instagram because I'm fucked in the head like everybody. But, I generally wasn't that keen on shorts, but I really thought, it would go under the radar. But I did notice a lot of people being like, bro, what's with the shorts? Fucking upload some actual full videos. The shorts were never meant to get in the way of the actual videos. Regardless of if I was putting out shorts, I still didn't have time to make regular videos. So the shorts never stopped the regular content. I was just trying something new, and you know what? It didn't actually have that much of an impact. So that's why it's kind of stopped. I do apologize for the shorts. That's kind of my best explanation I can give you guys, and Laura, obviously. I was trying something. I had a recommendation from a friend who sort of knows their shit, and I'm sorry if that cluttered anybody's feed. I didn't mean for that to happen. But the shorts, and nothing for weeks. Now the nothing for weeks is sort of the hardest bit to, is the most gut-wrenching, because Laura's right. I have had a very difficult time managing the flow of content, because I have a personality flaw, which has gotten worse the closer to 30 that I get. It didn't used to be a problem when I first started, but it's getting more and more difficult to, when there's things happening in my life that are negatively impacting me, compartmentalizing, turning those off, turning on the GMat stuff and making a video, or doing a stream, or doing a podcast, or whatever. I'm having a lot more of a difficult time shutting my brain off from bad stuff to bring the positivity and the the good vibes to you guys, which is what this channel's all about. That's why I like this fucking job so much, is because I like to bring good vibes. I like to bring laughter. I didn't have the easiest childhood, and what I've learned in therapy recently is how much of that has impacted my adult life and my desire to bring light and lighten things up and bring comedy to people, and bring laughter to people. That's, it's one of the good things I've taken out of a shitty situation, and a quality about myself that I've recently learnt about. But yeah, like I said, it's not always the easiest to do that when things are going wrong, and so much has gone wrong in the last, again, hard to quantify, but like the last year. Send Noobs, who I worked for, and Gameology being the big brand. I made videos for them, like I edited, Experts React, and then some top 10 stuff. And then I also made, for years, I was making 2 videos a week for their channel, Send Noobs. Now, Send Noobs and Gameology killed my passion for this work. A passion that was really, really strong when I started out. When that first Jimmy video went viral and I hit 10K, and I was with Ben O, I can't even express to you the joy I felt that people were watching my stuff and laughing and consuming my stupid videos and enjoying them, and working for Send Noobs and pumping out so much shit constantly and having millions and millions of views on Facebook, which isn't, it's not real. Facebook, social media is not fucking real. I can't explain it, but it kind of made me a bit jaded, and it made me a little it killed my passion. I was being told what games to make videos on, and I was pumping them out at such a quantity consistently, and not for myself. I was pumping out content consistently and at a high quantity, like I said, for somebody else under their rules and what they wanted me to do. If I was doing this for GMat, I'd put my heart and soul into every single video and still be loving it. But something about making stuff for somebody else and the stress that came along with that. And it got to the point where sometimes I was just like, fuck, I've got to make a video, and getting in and like just trying to make the recording as quick as possible so I could make the edit as quick as possible so I could get it to them as quick as possible. Chasing games based around views, chasing topics based around what's performing well. It fucking killed my love for the content. Now, if I just worked for Gameology editing their stuff instead of doing my GMat thing, which is playing video games and making jokes like I do on Send Noobs, the GMat and Send Noobs aren't that different, except that on GMat I like put in memes and I can be I can swear a bit more, even though I do bleep it. I can go a little harder. I can go a bit harder on the in them. But yeah, turning that thing that I was so passionate about into not work, but work for someone else killed my passion a bit. One small reason why I've been having a hard time getting on and making content and uploading consistently. The Twitch stream knows this. And, people on my social media might know this, but Beck lost her dad at the end of last year, and it was a really hard time for both of us. It was a really weird time. It was a really, it was a time where I had to stop my work and focus on my life. And then getting back to things after that was really, really difficult for a bunch of reasons. I mean, I'm not gonna claim Beck's pain and her grief, because it was way more significant than mine. But I can't pretend like it didn't affect me in a really profound way. So that was a couple months of some pretty just awful times. We had to bring the podcast to a close. Aiden was having less time to be involved, and me and Ben had another idea for a project that we wanted to move on, and that was difficult for a lot of reasons. One, because I, for lack of a better word, kind of had to fire one of my friends. Not really. He knew he couldn't commit anymore, but it was the fact that we were bringing something that we loved and that I loved to a close, and letting go of somebody that I love so much in my content and in the podcast to move on to something new without him, like that was, I haven't spoken about just how much that fucking upset me, but it really did. And again, it's difficult to compartmentalize when a piece, like the GMat thing has always been YouTube, Twitch, podcast. And one of those limbs, one of those like very important it was like a triad, and one of them died and fell away. And then I went to focus on these two and just watching that thing die and go off. And that was hard. Not everyone will understand exactly why that was hard. And I don't even think I can put it into words, but that affected me a lot. More recently, I didn't think I'd ever have to make a video where I address this, but Beck and I made the decision to separate. It wasn't, it was mutual to a point. And then more recently, we've both come on board and realized that it was kind of the right call for us. I'm not going to explain to you guys what the problems were or how we got to that decision, or, the length of time that it took to make that decision. But just know that it has been a very, very difficult stretch of time. Well into months of time where, something as important as your home and your family and your partner, when that's crumbling around you, that can make it really difficult to put on a smile and make a GMat video. Unfortunately, that was one of the more substantial things that has affected the last 12 months of content and my ability to keep a consistent flow and my ability to stream consistently. I mean, I have a schedule, but I've probably got I probably miss a stream at least once a fortnight, and that's being generous. Just because I wake up and I just can't do it. There's just so much going on in my head. Even though that has been a very, very difficult decision, it is the right call. Unfortunately, we're still living together while we work out the next step. I do know what the next step is, but there's a process to all this sort of stuff and moving and all that. So right now I'm living in my office, and I would pan the camera and show you guys the situation, but it would depress you. And as much as it would explain maybe why I haven't been so keen to stream this week, maybe why it's been difficult to make content for a couple of weeks, I am not willing or ready to show you guys the situation around me. Then I'm also, this is a lot more recent with all this happening. It's the processing of your life taking a step backwards. And I don't like saying that. I'm trying to think of my life taking a step sideways so that I can go on to better and bigger things. But it's difficult to not see, a life that you had built now changing, and how, going from a home with a partner and a dog and a nice home, and moving on to something that's like a studio apartment by yourself. It's difficult to not see that as a step back. But I'm trying to reframe my thinking on that so that I can because I don't believe it is a step back. I think it's if anything, it's a step forward for both of us, and it's just a reframing of the brain. And the other thing to acknowledge about the last 12 months, and this is far too personal to let you guys in on, but I am in debt. I'm not talking $10,000, I'm not, it's not a crazy amount of money. It's a collection of tax, and more recently having to borrow money from a bank to prepare for this situation and all the new purchases and stuff like that. It's not a massive competing factor in the stress and the inability to make content and the inability to do my job, but it's a factor, and it's one of the more recent little sprinklings on top to that I just get to remind myself about. Not a problem that can't be solved. This isn't a fucking who is it, like a boogie situation where there's $100,000+ in debt. It's just a little bit of, just another stress. Yeah, I don't know where the ending of this video goes, except that let's keep moving our way. So that last fucking 15 minutes was me just saying, and nothing for weeks. That's why there has been a very inconsistent flow of content because it has been a very emotionally inconsistent stretch of time for me. And I am sorry about that. It's also worth acknowledging YouTube, the YouTube part of my work, I make $0 from. Nothing. Twitch, I don't want to sit. I'm already fucking feel gross about talking about debt, but I don't need to tell you guys exactly how much I make from Twitch, but it's substantial. It's enough to help me pay my bills and put a roof over my head. So at some point, I've got to focus a little bit on the things that's going to make it so that I can put food in my big fat face. And the other thing is, I was very, very, very lucky. Oh, I totally forgot about another thing. I just got fired from Sent Noobs fucking 3 weeks ago. And I haven't told anybody about that. I haven't told the Twitch stream. I haven't told a single goddamn person about that. So that's difficult. Obviously, I put out that video ages ago where I was like, I left Gameology. I did leave Gameology, but I continued with Send Noobs on a much smaller scale because I needed the cash. And I was like, you know what? 1 video a week? Sure. But I was fired. As were a lot of people. There was a big, big killing going on. And I unfortunately didn't make the cut. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. I was lucky enough to be hired by Watch Mojo to make videos for Mojo Plays. They have been, in a word, amazing. Content that isn't like the content that I make, so it doesn't feel like this weird crossover that I've had with Send Noobs. I'm enjoying it. It pays really well. And if I didn't make any of this, if I wasn't streaming or making YouTube videos, I would do this non-stop and full-time and make a lot of money. But that's not what I want to do. It's to support this, making content for you guys. That being said, I do need to put a little bit of time into that so that I can continue to have time to make content for you guys. So, yeah. What was the point of that? Oh, yeah, I'm just sort of trying to explain why YouTube is a little difficult to focus on 100%. The problem is, even though it makes me no fucking money, it's one of my favorite things and has been one of my favorite things from the start. If GMat was fucking just my full-time job, I can't tell you how cool that would be. But unfortunately, it's a fickle fucking industry and a fickle fucking business. And, at some point, I need to prioritize putting coin in my pocket. That's not me saying the YouTube is fucking done and over. I'll probably put something in the thumbnail that says I'm done, just as clickbait. But the YouTube will continue. The thing that I need to do now is I need to take a break because in the next week, I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be setting up my new setup. And I need to work out what to do, what I can do to improve the YouTube, come up with some ideas, get my whiteboard back and start jotting down notes. I need to look at the stream as well, new things we can do, stuff that can add it a bit more fun back in for the viewers. And we also need to rebuild the podcast set for our podcast, Bachelors of Art. So there will be a tiny break on that as well. I don't know when I'm going to come back. It shouldn't be longer than 2 weeks. I'm just saying 2 weeks so that I have 2 weeks, but I could come back in a week. It just depends how long I need this break for, because I need to move and I need to get comfortable and I need to get happy again. And this is a difficult environment to be happy in, being in one room. And I just need to, I need to walk in the sun and I need to see some friends and I need to stretch my wings and I need to just smell the air and remind myself of, the joy I used to feel so that I can come back and I can make good shit for you guys. So I'm taking a break from everything for at least 2 weeks. No YouTube, no Twitch, no podcast. And I'm really sorry about that. It's not fair, especially after Laura's just said, fucking pick up your game. But in order to be better, I need to take a step back and think about my channel and what I want to do. Now, I can't promise that when I come back, things are going to go pow and I'm going to be doing a video every day and things are going to be going well. I can promise that I am looking forward to getting back into my work. That's what I can 100% promise. And whether or not that reflects and that comes out in the content that I'm making is anyone's guess, but I think it will. I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. I know it is rambling. I am totally rambling. I don't even know if there was a consistent thought throughout this entire video, but I love you guys and I will see you in 2 weeks. Take care. So I just finished editing all of that, and I just wanted to mention as I was editing, because I didn't write a script, I was like, I wrote down things I didn't mention during this video that I should mention. In terms of like financial struggles, Gameology owes me more than $1,000 in invoices, which I've been asking for. So, and I'm sick of being nice. So if you guys want to fucking blast them in their comments and be like, pay GMat the money you owe him, I'm sure it will get done, but I'm being ignored at the moment. And I need that money. It's more than $1,000. Give me my fucking money. Another thing that added to the stress of how I felt about the content and my passion for it was very recently. Not very recently. It was months ago. It was like 3 months ago. A longtime fan who I knew by name and was consistent in the stream sent me quite an aggressive, angry Instagram message where they said they're basically done with my content. Unlike Laura, this person was not productive or constructive. Sorry, not productive. Was not constructive. And was not nice. And what I learnt as time went on was I think they'd created some sort of parasocial relationship with me and thought that they mattered to me more than they do. And because of that, I should take time out of my day to acknowledge them, which is just not the case. I literally owe nobody anything except farts on a microphone. I was opening up like I was going to tell you guys what the messages were, but they were fucking crazy. Anyways, they blasted me pretty hard and made me feel really, really bad about myself. The things they said didn't have any handling in reality. They, in my opinion, they were not real. They were not real problems. It was a person who was angry and just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. But I take that stuff on because of the type of person that I am. That took me a good amount of time to process and get over. It's not that important, but that's another thing worth mentioning. The other thing I was going to say was if I don't work, I don't get paid. So if you do like the content and you want to support the content, I don't expect you to donate financially when there's nothing going up. Although the tip link is always open, TheRealGMat.tv/tip. What you can do if you want to see some extra content is join the Patreon for Bachelors of Art or Bachelors of Fart. Patreon.com/Bachelors of Art. There's stuff up there. So if you want to join the Patreon and put some cash down, I will get that cash eventually and you get content for it. So that's it. I'm now going officially. Goodbye.